Hi, welcome to Property Decoded. I'm Jayashree Kurup. I'm Director, Wordmeister Editorial Services Real Estate. Experts warn about dire consequences to India due to global warming. As a response to this, organizations like IGBC India have already started working with the industry to harness the power of the sun without letting the heat in. Light, but no heat. Chairman V. Suresh explains to us that it starts with passive architecture.
As you know, there are two components in the building design, and that's called the passive design and an active design. Passive designs are areas where the architect and the engineer plays a very important role depending upon the orientation of the building, the solar path analysis, from where does the eastern sun, the noon sun, the setting sun. So how to avoid certain amount of orientation so that buildings, you get the light but don't get the heat inside. You know, these are a very important component of daylight. Unfortunately, India is blessed with 95% of the time period with clear design sky. As against UK, Europe, Canada, Australia, America, North, you have mostly standard overcast skies.
And I have with me Dr. Prashant Reddy. He is from Fundamentals.
We are engaging the architects even before at the elevation stage itself. So our approach to them is as the design concept is being formulated, we are already engaged. So the architect already has in their mind what kind of elevation the building should have. So our participation is quite at a very, very early stage in terms of getting it specified. But then the application then finally is nearly the last stage of the building. So then in between is the process follow-up in terms of getting the drawings done, rechecking with the actual measurements and so on.
So what can cladding achieve?
In India, we are basically focused on exterior applications. And when I say that, we are talking about cladding. So the cladding acts as an external skin or like an envelope to the building. Yeah. So that's the first cover against all external weather conditions from excess heat, rain, wind. So it is basically protecting the building. Similarly, the panels or the facade material acts as an external skin and protects the building overall.
I said we would like to use the solar energy in the solar resource in a large way. You want the light in, but not the heat in, I said. So if you don't want the heat in and the glare in, two negative aspects, the heat gain coefficient and the glare that can come into the building. So you should have right level of fenestration design by which the glare does not come in over there. You also have the right level of protection to have the certain period of the particular thing, the light does not get into the harsh sun, does not come into it, and the heat does not come in. And that's where you have the right level of values of the walling system, the roofing system, so that through which the heat can come into the building, which has the energy cost. So these are all done as part of the passive design with the right level of U value and R value of the material, namely the walling material. So they don't become a medium through which the temperature increase comes in. The whole temperature is transmitted inside. So your large number of treatment for the glasses that we use over there, the specialist glass. I hope when you talk of glass, the building code has for the first time again brought in a new chapter on glazing, structural glazing, because with the type of glass use come into a very large way, large number of new systems are coming over there on glazing related on single glazing, double glazing, glazing with the right level of U value so that your transmittance of light, heat through the glass does not come in.
Will cladding help?
Yeah, even cladding material. What type of cladding material that you use? For example, the whole wall is there. The window opening, unless the whole building is completely enclosed by glass, which is not a good thing at all, we would like to have a reasonable window to wall ratio of the order of about 45 to 60%. Should be the maximum that can go, preferably at 40% if you cable fine. Then the wall area that comes over there, that would be one way. So what are the material by which, material the treatment outside and inside, by which you will be able to get no heat conductance going over there. You know, it doesn't get transmitted inside there. So those treatments are all available detail with they're given details over there.
Dr. Prashant Reddy says cladding leads to thermal efficiency.
Normally what happens is, you have to in any case make sure that the civil structure is appropriate. So the skin cannot compromise the structural part. The skin is basically increasing or enhancing the life of the building. Today, the mainly people are cladding basically, as in India especially, it's largely for aesthetic purpose rather than functional purpose. If we were to refer to the Western world, a cladding is a necessity for all commercial buildings by law, basically for the thermal efficiency of the building so that you save energy a lot. And it also protects the building in terms of not only the energy part, by enhancing the life of the building, because it protects against extreme sun, extreme wind, or no, it could be extreme rain as well.
Tell me a little more about the thermal efficiency.
This follows the principle of what we call as a rain screen facade or a rear ventilation facade. There is a gap of 60 to 75 mm between the wall and the panel. So that cavity, what is created, the hot air circulates. So, when the air is getting heated up, see, as we all know, the concrete walls breathe. So, that the thermal loss between the inside air conditioned building and to the external conditions. So the wall, the in between the heated air moves up. The circulation normally goes up. Similarly, when the heat is outside and the buildings are cooling inside, so the heat is, the skin is holding back the heat. And that gap between the panel and the wall is what creates the thermal efficiency, or this is the bridge which helps to create the thermal efficiency.
Is this mostly for commercial buildings, or residential also avails of it?
It goes across. It could be anything, any building you can clad it.
And parts of buildings can be clad, or it has to be the entire face?
See, again, it depends on the function. If you really want to achieve this green building rating, or you want to really bring the thermal efficiency, then at least 3/4 of the building should be cladded, especially the southwest mainly to be covered, because that is where the sun is really quite harsh.
The new area into which we are getting is called net zero energy, net zero water, net zero waste, and net zero carbon. These four are important: energy, water, waste, and overall carbon decarbonization, and how to reduce the carbon footprint or the type of temperature rise otherwise would come with other aspects. So all these are covered in normally in the green building design, but green building plus is a net zero energy.
With our experiences, if you are able to clad the building at least 3 sides, especially the southwest mainly being covered, and the north to an extent, you can save nearly 30% of the energy bills can be saved.
Only just by the design of the building, by the orientation, which are in the hands of the architect and the civil engineer. If they are able to do that together as a combination of, then in passive design itself, according to our assessment, roughly 25 to 30% of the whole energy cost can be controlled in a large way. The NBC of India is the first document in the world, even now, which has brought in a new chapter. I'm talking about the approach to sustainability. There, all these details are identified in a very detailed manner in terms of the lighting, in terms of the energy, in terms of all these aspects, all sustainable features, including the U values, R values, life cycle costing, and other related aspects. Everything is covered in part 11 of the NBC.
The codes exist, as do rating systems. The industry now has the technology to cut out the heat and still bring in the light. It just needs all users to make energy conscious decisions. Thank you so much for watching. For more videos like this, follow me on Twitter @jcook.